And welcome to the Daytona Rolex 6 hour. This is gonna be one event, and we don't do that. And this is gonna be quite an event here today, as we have, I believe, 17 cars lined up here today. 3 categories. I know last time it was less than that, but today 3 categories all lined up here, ready to race here for the Rolex 6 hours. Keep in mind, game speed will be set to 2 times 4. So then you will get through all of the stages that they do in real life. So basically, let's go ahead. Let's get this going. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes in this race, but before we go ahead and get started with this race, let's go ahead and let's just talk about what do we think this, what's going to happen during this race, as it is going to be insane. We do have 5 different cars in, this race, but 3 different car classes, and one of them being one that we did not see in the Roar, and that will be LMP2 will be in this race. So that's definitely gonna be fun watching those guys race around, but we can only watch them race around if we get this race started. So as I'm saying that, the iRacing sim is being loaded, so then we can go ahead and get rolling with this. Now this is gonna be very, very exciting to see these cars out on track for one of the first times in a while, actually. So we will go ahead and get that loaded up soon. And that is that. As we're loading up the sim, it is about 25% there. So all the DPIs have stayed the same except for one, and that one being Florida Boy. Now keep in mind, Florida, I messed up with his name. I just put him as Florida Boy. Keep in mind, he is a DPI, so he will be running a bit, more up the field. So just keep that in mind for Florida. He is a DPI, which I think I'll remind you at the end of the race. But that is that with the DPIs. And then LMP2s, we do have a new entry there. That will be water. So 3 cars competing all in the LMP2 car class. And then for GT Daytona, we have a few new people running in this race. It's actually, sorry, we're going to have to delay this race. I do have to just check a few things on trading paints because I did mess up quite a bit. So we will be delaying the race just by a little bit, but it's really not that much that we are. But also keep in mind that these guys are really going to be racing super hard in the GT3, or sorry, the GTD car class, because of how intense this class is. Now, we will be reloading up the sim in just a second. You will see it pop up. We will reset it right now before we get any closer with this. So there we go. We will get it loaded back up in just a second. As I still have to put in a lot of these GT3s, their skill sets. But actually, funny thing, we do have a full, not only full car class, but we also have we have 2 full teams now that have more than 1 car, and those teams being the WeatherTech Racing in the GTD car class and the Cadillac Racing up in DPI. Now keep in mind, there will also be a little bit of a different skill level here, as you do have the LMP2 car class that will have, the so because we don't actually have LMP2s in this simulator, or well, we do, but we don't have any DPIs or GT3s. So what we're doing is we're going to be using the same cars for the DPI and LMP2. Only thing that's different is their skill level. So there's a very possible chance that a LMP2 could finish above an LMP1. Sorry, not LMP1, and DPI. I can't talk today, but there's a lot that can happen. But as we'll get the sim rolling up, and I promise you this should be the last time that we have an issue like this. Welcome to the Daytona 6 hour. As the sim's loading up, and we should be starting maybe 4 or 5 minutes later than expected. But there's still a lot of things to do. And now, sim's getting loaded up 6% so far. And let's go ahead. Now, there's going to be a lot more to talk about while, you know, these guys are qualifying. They're racing, they're doing all of that. But so far, let's get up ATVO. And I will have to remind you about the time. Just because ATVO does not want to save this one thing. So I can't show you the time. But I will be updating you throughout the race. Welcome in 8K. That will be a boost for you. And iRacing is about 50% there. Which, keep in mind, this track has 12 turns now. Turn number 8 and 12 being called as the NASCAR 1 and 2, and turn number 12 being called as NASCAR 3 and 4. Turn number 1, it's a very long sweeping left-hander, then into turn number 2 and 3. Really just fast little S's. Turn number 4, heavy 180. Turn number 5, just a little kink in the whale tail, I like to call it. And then number 6, another 180. And then number 7, it's a kind of tight corner that you have to get just right to just get past some of those GTD cars. And iRacing just now loading up on this. And this is when I like to call let's go racing for the Daytona 6 hours. Now, of course, qualifying will be underway right now. But this is when everything is going to start going for all of these cars. Currently, the only car that's out onto the track right now will be 8K. He's just going to be sitting in the pits for now. And Trading Paints will be loading up their schemes. And sorry, let me get Discord out here. And we do have the first car rolling. He's out onto the track, and that is 8K. As he's out and rolling. Anybody else out? We do have a few of the different car classes trying to get out right now, but this is the first car, which is 8K, the DPI car class right here. Now, keep in mind, very, very mixed here at Daytona with the different car classes, and also keep in mind, track progression is going to be a massive thing about this. The speed of the sun, 4 times what it is in real life, so we will hit all the points in the race, which is the nighttime. Getting those tires up to temperature. It's going to take a lot more than just your single outlap, like what they're expecting during the day. And you're going to start seeing drivers start double staining on their tires. You're going to see drivers during the night, they're going to say tire wear isn't that bad. Lap times are competitive. So we're going to keep on these tire sets, which I think is going to be a massive part about this, saving time in the pits. That's something that we always want to talk about is, do I need these tires? I know I need fuel, but do I need these tires? And that's going to be a massive factor here, because if you're on old tires and you make one mistake, that could be your entire race, you know, hopes of winning gone. As we go on board the helmet cam of this number 10 DPI with, Whaler Tane Racing, which in real life, I believe either went 3 or 4 times in a row for a win, as he will cross the line to go ahead and start his hot lap. That number 10 DPI Just getting down into the first corner. Long left-hander now exiting number 2 and 3. It's not really that hard to navigate through turn number 2 and 3, but this GTD traffic will be hard to navigate throughout this race. Now going through the turn number 4, International Horseshoe. It's a long right-hander. You want to try to use as much track off exit as possible. And now you can see that GTD traffic. I think an LMP just getting by some of those cars. Now down into the brakes for this 180 here. It's very, very difficult. If there's a car spun out, it's very, very hard to avoid it right there. Now as he will come through the last part of the infield, and he heads on to NASCAR 1 and 2 now. Turn number 8. Heading towards turn number 9, 10, and 11. As going down this long straight, you see him trying to get these RPMs as long as possible, trying to build up the most speed down the stretch. Now the question is will this GT traffic, make his lap time worse? That's the question. As he will get through here. Very calm, very nice. Now the next DPI has started his lap. That is the number 5. And Lizard has also started his. Citrifari has started his. Comrade, everybody's out on their lap. Now here goes the 10. Round the outside of the number 97 Camrys GTD. Coming to cross the line. 8K. A minute 33. Do we see anybody go faster than a minute 33? As there's the 10. He's catching up on the number 21 of Tubb. Here's Cam in that DPI. Is this number 97 of NASCAR going to hold him up? Maybe he might have to just get out the gas a little bit, but this IMSA series, keep in mind, IMSA having a a little bit long of a schedule here. While we do have more than just a few races. I believe it is 10 or 11. I'm checking right now. It will be a 10 race long season, with most of these races only being an hour long. Others being a bit longer. But definitely still exciting. As now we come through the last little part of the road course section with this number 31. Back to the number, let's do the 79 of NASCAR. He's on his hot lap. First time in this car, no practice, no nothing. But we'll see what he does in this number 97 WeatherTech Mercedes. And there's two of them, by the way. There's the 79 and the 97. There's his teammate Camry. He's going to be able to cross the line here pretty soon. And 8K will hold on to the lead just on your Rolex Roar winner. A 10th back on him. Comrade, about 1.5 tenths back from the leader of 8K. So not that much separates first, second, and the third. Odin, 3 tenths back. Citrifari, 3 tenths back. Cam, 7 tenths back. I think he got held up. And then Beast is when we're going to start seeing the times drop from those LMP1s down here. Which, like I said, you could see those LMP2s be a little bit faster. Water faster than Cam. And then you see Beast, second back from Water. So that's a 3 tenths difference. Now also look at this. GTD, about 9-10 seconds difference. A lot of this qualifying pace could be because of other traffic. Now, we can see an LMP2 start within the field of DPIs, and the DPI couldn't pull away. That is a for sure possibility here, as we are seeing that number 5 and that number 10 DPI both in the pits. That is JustCon and the number 10 of 8K both into the pits. Let's take a look at our GTD pole sitter right now, BQ. He's on pole right now in that number 16, so very, very important for him to get a good lap time in, as if you cross the line now, you may get one more lap in, but I don't think a lot of these drivers will be able to. I think the last car that will be able to get an actual lap time in is that number 81 of Juan. Now, here goes that number 16. He's not going to be able to make another lap time. So will that hold up, as everybody else comes in. Will Camry come in? Yes, he will. So everybody coming into the pits right now, because this is a long race, they have enough time to, you know, pass other cars. They have enough time, so everybody being really chill in the pits here. And actually, let's do this so then we can get ourselves rolling here. Number 47, NASCAR fan. He's going to make his way into the pits. NASCAR fan currently sitting dead last. But it's a long race. A lot can happen. Connor, he's going to be pulling in. The 9 of Lizard and the 8101. They're all coming in. And a few cars pulled out. The number 10, 8K. Still 30 seconds left, but he's on his out lap. And people are now coming out of the pits. Qualifying will end very shortly in about 20 seconds, but the cars won't actually get off the track for, I want to say, a good minute or two. But very interesting start to this race by qualifying alone. We have 2 LMP2s faster than Cam, and that's 2 out of the 3 LMP2 car field. So very, very interesting to see how these DPIs and LMP2s are going to race each other. Are they going to cooperate? Are they going to try to race each other? Will that, you know, factor in for the race win? Really, all good questions here that we're all going to ask, and who knows if we'll find an answer for it. I mean, you can just see the pace difference between the Ferrari GTD and the Dallara, or DPI. As these cars should be getting off the track at any second now. We will have 6 hours of Daytona here in just a moment. Here at Daytona International Speedway. Race expected to end somewhere around 10 EST. And I chose this on a weekend just for that reason. Now, as these cars should be getting off the track any moment now. iRacing should be able to kick them off any moment now. Really just, it's going to be crazy all the way to the finish. Strategy, the track changing, nighttime, it's all happening right here where you're watching iRacing Sim Series at Daytona. And once again, from the commentary booth, I do want to say a quick thank you to everybody that is here. It has been one adventure getting this race to start from whenever I made this league at 2 a.m. to now live streaming it on YouTube with a car class of 19 cars. Remember, we started this series with, I believe, 8. And now for IMSA, we are about to do Daytona 6 hours. And from this league starting at 2 a.m. to now this, all I want to say is thank you for supporting. And now, enough of my sentimental moment as these cars are all lined up on the grid, ready to get going. The pace car rolling off in just a few moments. Just gone on the outside. 8K on the inside. Who's gonna win this race as the pace car will pull off? Tire temperatures are going to be starting a bit low, but they will continue to get a lot better the later that this race goes on. And here is the grid for today's race. It's not absolutely massive, but it is still a really good size. As now, these cars will roll off in no staggered start like they do in real life. Every car class starts at the same time, which will make it even more interesting for how these GT cars will react heading down into turn number 1. As we have all of these cars just waiting to get going here at Daytona. All of these drivers set up and ready to go. The 5 on the high side. The 10 on the low side. So they come around to where the pace car will make that hard left-hander into the pit lane. Now the Porsche pace car is going to make that left-hander into the pit lane. You see Steve in the flag stand. He has the green flag ready. Pace car pulls off, and it's green flag for 6 hours at Daytona. 6 hours underway here at Daytona. It's going to be the number 10. It's going to be the number 10 of 8K. He will lead us off into the International Horseshoe, as everybody else will follow behind. The GT car class, you can already see them. They're falling off a bit just in the pace alone. Now the 10's going to be leading us through. The 01 of Florida Boy, he's going to be kind of right in that mix. He's trying to make a move on that number 5. That 5 left out on the start. He's back down to third, dropped one position in the 60s wide. The 60 of Citrafari, he goes wide, but he's going to be able to keep it clean. Now here's Cam. Is Cam trying to get through that number 81? Battle for the lead of the LMP2 car class. I believe, no, Water in the lead. He has a good, solid length to the back of the rest of the GT car class. As now, do we see that number 48 of Comrade try to make a move? They're side by side down the back stretch. 10's going to go in the defensive line. 48's going to try to make it through. Comrade makes it through. That's going to leave the 10 out. Really going to leave him out. Dropping back to third. Will Comrade lead the first lap of this race? Keep in mind, the draft behind could still be there. Comrade's not going to be able to pull away just yet. So a lot can still happen in this race. We are just in the opening stages. Comrade's going to lead that first lap. Now let's go on board the 97, of Camry. Side by side to the line. I believe Tubbs going to get that, but they are a little bit behind. So that makes me wonder if anything happened to them on this first opening lap. They were a bit behind. It seems like, no, he just took the defensive line into there. And that was that. So the GT car class already having some pretty good battles. And that number 9 of Lizard will go ahead and lead the field off. Connor just in the back there. He can be really strong today, as we're seeing all the LMPs pass by. And then you have the GTD car class, which the later on we get into this race, the more separated these car classes start to become, and the more of race pace it starts to become. Comrade still leading the car class off with JustCon just behind him. And you see that number 69 of Water. He's trying to make a move on some of these DPIs. Water trying to get past Citrafari. Will it work? Yes, it will. That LMP2 of Water really fast today now. Keep in mind, Citrafari is a DPI, so he should be faster than them, but right now it doesn't seem that way. JustCon's going to get to the line first, and they're going to pass Comrade. A bit of contact between Comrade and the 10. You see JustCon trying to make his way around the outside. Will it work? They have an entire train worth of cars just behind them, and it's going to be a little separation to Water, Cam back there. And look at the 48. He's going to go wide. Comrade going wide, but he's not going to lose any type of spots. Beast a bit further back. Now as you see Florida Boy just in the tail end of that pack, JustCon's going to compromise his line right there. You already see a bit of that rubber getting laid in. Comrade's going to get a bit loose. I think he just barely missed his braking point. If anything, got a bit wide on his braking. And now, as we go through, these kind of first 5 minutes here at Daytona, it's definitely been a lot. As you see that number 9 still leading him off. You have Connor and Chris back there. Then just a bit further back, you have Tubb, number 47, the 79. And rounding out the field will be the 97. So those WeatherTech cars, last of the pack. And they're in a separated pack, not even with the leaders. As the leaders all the way over here, so you can already see the separation in them. As that number 48, he's gaining the 10s, thinking about making a move, but the 48's going to make it first. 48 of Comrade, he's going to make it first. I think the 10's wanting to follow around the outside, so is the 2. And will the 10 be able to do it? The 02 just behind. Both Cadillac racing cars there, and the 10 goes wide. That number 10, he went wide. He's going to drop back to 4th overall. Comrade's going to defend off the 02. Yeah, and that 0-2 of Odin, he has been really good here at Daytona. But the question is can he get any better? Comrade and Just Gone lead you off. And it's been an incredible, kind of couple of weeks here at Daytona. Just Gone wins the Roar, and now he's leading the Daytona 6 Hour. Now the number 16 Porsche will now lead off the GT car class. The number 9 is going to lose it to BQ. Now expected 230 laps to be completed today here at Daytona. Now will that number 48 Ally be able to pass? He's done it once and he will do it again. It's Just Gon's forced to go wide. He's going to drop back into third, possibly fourth. If that number 10 of 8K wants to get past, then he will try to. But I don't think Florida wants that to happen. Florida's going to try the inside and battle for the lead. The 48 versus Odin. And Odin's going to take lead. Odin leading the Rolex 6 Hour. Now, while this could be exciting, you have a pack side by side just behind with Just Con and all of these guys all trying to battle it super hard early on in this race. This is the easiest part to take those positions. And as this battle is going on, you have another battle. That number 9, he wants that lead back. Lizard trying to get the lead back. Here's Chris. Where's Connor? Connor's fell a little bit back off that pack, but he's not gone. He's not out of the draft. Not yet. And look, BQ's going to get a push from Chris. Now, will his BMW teammate go up there with him? That's the question. The 9's going to move up. The 25 stuck on the high side. The 24 is going to go down low. As now Connor still in fourth in that GTD car class. He wants to start moving up. As you can see, those WeatherTech machines just a little bit stuck in the back there. Now as Odin will keep his lead through this part of the track, will Just Gone try to take it back in the front part of this track. 8 minutes completed now as we go through the tri-oval for the to finish the 5th lap and to start the 6th lap of this race. Just Gone will take the lead once more. Now keep in mind, a lot of this is going to start coming in at nighttime whenever tire strategy comes into play. Cold tires at a track like this is not going to go well, especially with the track being aged. Now a little bit battle further back for LMP2. This is for second in the car class. You have Juan who has it. Beast wants it though. But look at the distance to the leader. This is them. You can't even see Water because Water's up in that DPI car class pack. So that's a Ferrari. That's Water. There's Juan. Water being that orange-black car. Juan being the orange and yellow car. No kind of alliance between any of those teams, by the way, as well. As now, DPI car class is going to exit it. And let's get a camera on BQ as he's trying to run away from this number 9. Now Odin down the backstretch. He's going to try down to the inside on Just Gone. He's going to have to back out. It's never going to work trying to pass someone right there unless if they're taking the defensive line and you can take your normal braking. Now, as they will come around the track, passing the line just now, or at least kind of soon to now, as Odin, hungry for the lead, he's going to take it right back, and he's going to lead us off 10 minutes down. Keep in mind, 10 minutes our time, 40 minutes in game time. Basically, we are at about 4 in-game. Sun sets, I believe, around 8 in-game. So we do have a good, fair amount of time until sunset. And actually, let me check what time the sun sets. It is about 8:10, so we're going to see the sun start to kind of come off the track, maybe about an hour or two. Maybe I would want to say an hour. Yeah, in about an hour, that's whenever the sun's going to start coming off the track. It's going to start getting a lot cooler in temperature. And now let's take a look back at the number 9. Ploff Motorsports, or I think it's Ploff. And Lizard leads off the GTD car class. And that's big for Lizard, as he will take the lead down the stripe. But he's not going to do it. Connor's going to get loose just a bit behind. He loses the rear end of that car, but nothing else really. Everybody's still running in this race. Keep in mind, track temperature, it's going to change a lot throughout this race. And it's really going to change a lot, really, throughout any race. But especially this one. With the amount of rubber that's going to be laid down, the amount of everything that's going to be happening all at once, the different car classes, different car speeds, just different, times for people to pit. That's really going to separate everything. Now, as we see a lot of close racing right now, Citrofari, Water gets loose. And that's Water getting way loose. And the number 18 of Beast, he's into the pits. What happened to him? And if it is bad enough, we will throw a safety car. But it doesn't look like anything happened. I don't spot any damage for that number 18, so the green flag will still be waved. But Water getting way loose on the entrance of the International Horseshoe. And let's take a look at this. He's racing with Citrofari. Citrofari doesn't give him enough room. Gets way loose. That could have been a different scenario if Water had different types of reaction time, really. And now Beast is going to be getting out of the pit road just now, and Water has now separated from those DPIs. And I think now is when we're going to start seeing the separation of car classes. And at some point, DPIs are going to lap the LMP2s. And Odin's not going to be able to get the lead now. Justcon trying to hold him off. And he will. And Odin's going to go a bit wide. But nothing else really. Taking a look back with Citrofari. The 01 of Florida did give enough room there. Let's take a look back at this car class with the 9 of Lizard. And you have BQ, Chris, and Connor all in that mix. And just behind, you do have the leaders just about to get onto the NASCAR 1 and 2, where they are right now. And they're actually catching a little bit of a pack of these GTD cars. And I think we do see them catch this lap. But this is really where you start to see the separation in the pack. This is when you're going to start seeing cars get separated, really. The GTDs and the GT3s, LMPs, this is where they're all going to start getting separated now. As Justcon's going to take the defensive line. Comrade, he's done it 3 times this race. Comrade back into the lead of that DPI car class. Now let's take a look at the battle for not being last year. It's the WeatherTech cars. They're side by side. Now you might not want to take a look behind them because the leaders are right then and there. So it'll be this time by that they catch. You have GT. You have the GTDs. They're all battling really hard. And then take a look at this. The 48. Right there. The leader of this race. The overall leader. He's right there. He's going to try to get him on entrance. He's not going to be able to on exit, though. There he goes. This is when the car classes really start to get separated. It's how good you can manage this traffic now. You see the 48. He's going to try to go down the inside of the 97. He will be able to. So will Justcon. And that 97 is able to hold on to it now as they're getting lapped by all of these leaders. There goes that number 48 of Comrade. He's going to try to get down to the inside of Tub. Tub's going to leave him the space. But Juscon will get a little held up from that. 4 tenths back. Now, really, this and pitting is where it's going to separate all the car classes. Now, they have a little break till Connor, which is the next car that they have to lap. And that'll be Water that gets held up. And look at the 5, the 0-2. They're battling it out really hard. And they're going to have to keep it single file now. Now, I think we see them catch, but if they're starting to battle up here, that can change everything as Chris up in a second. And actually, Lizard now leading this race. Connor falling just a bit back. But battle for second going on. This is not going to be happy for these DPIs. And actually, Connor's going to send one in on Connor. Juscon almost hitting Connor there. They get really, really close in these car packs. Now, this is insane. Comrade's just not going to have the room. That's going to slow not only him up, Juscon. It's going to be able to let them kind of back up to the number 10. And Comrade's going to have a good corner, but Juscon will have to compromise. Comrade just kind of compromised his entrance there, but he's going to have a good corner everywhere else. And soon they will have to lap Hunter. Now, this will be the first time that we're going to see an LMP2 get lapped. So that'll be very, very interesting seeing how these, same cars will react to each other. It's mainly off of driver's skill now. 17 minutes down. 11 laps. Sorry, 10 laps completed. 11 laps we have started. And look at this field. It is just chaos in the back. As some of these DPIs are still trying to make their way through. Here's Lizard getting passed by Cam. And I believe that should be it for the LMPs getting passed. And now, look at Chris. An amazing run by the number 25. He's just swerving up and down. That's going to be Water. He's going to have to let by, but Water's going to get stuck. Look at that 25. On the high side, he's having to hit the brakes. What has happened to that number 25? I think his car wasn't that stable on the top. You saw him wiggling around. And now Connor up in a P2 in this GTD car class. Now, only thing that Connor has to worry about now is that 16 catching back up with the draft and him having to chase down that number 9. Now here's Comrade. And you should see Beast going on to the banking just in the background as he is on it. And lap time differences. We will tell you this time by, because last time by, they were lapping cars, so it would not be fair to compare those two. But a little bit of separation with the DPIs. It goes all the way back to Juscon in 4th, and then it's a big gap to Citrafari in this number 60. And in that pack will be Florida, Cam, and actually LMP2 leader, Juan. So, the number 69 of Waters definitely fell back. And don't know how that's going to impact him race-wise, but it will for sure impact, not race-wise, but pace-wise. Because Juan will have to get past those guys a lot sooner than Water does. As they're battling up here and battle for the race lead, the 48 of Comrade. Sorry, I did not realize that Comrade was by himself. I'm not used to that. But there goes the 10 of 8K. He's going to get past Juscon just behind. As Comrade pulling away 1.6 back to 8K, Odin, and Juscon. Now, as everybody is going through here, 20 minutes down of this race, and it's definitely been an exciting one so far. A lot of different car classes racing each other very well. But with Comrade having that 1.6 lead, is that going to be enough to hold him off to the first pit stop, where it kind of starts to transition over tonight? I believe these LMPs can last maybe 30 minutes, while the GTs can last maybe 45. So these guys will pit twice, and on their second stop, that's whenever it starts to transition over to night. And then we'll be in night for maybe an hour or two, and then it's right back to day, which is very, very interesting how the transition's going to be with these cars. What's the pace going to look like? How much is the pace going to slow? Big questions here. As you see Odin getting around the outside of 8K, and this is for the second spot. So Odin's going to take that back, but 2 seconds to the class leader. And now lap times between the 48 and Beast. As Comrade, his last lap time was a 134.1, and Beast was a 134.1. But Beast also on those newer tires as well. Think about that. But he's definitely been closing in. Comrade is. He's closing in on that number 18 as 22 minutes down and coming up to that 30 point. That would be 2 hours in game time. Which actually in game right now, it is about 5:30 in game. So we are seeing the sun start to slowly go down, and actually we're starting to see the position of it kind of slowly change, and it's going to change the visibility of these drivers, how they're going to be able to see. And like I said, Connor does have to watch out. Number 16 behind him. Let's see how that battle's been going. The 16 behind him, and behind him 25. So 2 BMW teammates. Will they be able to work together to try to catch that, number 9 of Lizard? Let's take a look at the lap times. Lizard at 144.5. 145.2 is the difference. So about 6/10 last lap, but a lot can change in this 6-hour, 24-hour track time race. And that gap is just building up and building up, as I believe I'm seeing that number 18 kind of start pulling away from the DPIs just because of the new tires, but that does put the 18 on a different pitting strategy than the rest of the LMP2s. Actually, really, really weird to think about, because Juan could lap Hunter, and then that's Hunter's chances of getting that LMP2 car class win down to almost 0, and that's why everybody else has an issue like Hunter did. To actually, we did get word from the pit wall that his air intakes were clogged. There was too much dirt from the opening lap for everybody hitting the grass. So they had to clean that off, and he was right back out on his way. But they stopped him for just a bit, which makes you think that they also filled it up with a little bit of fuel. But different pit strategy from the number 18. As he's going to cross the line right now. So there's Beast, and now here comes basically the rest of the DPIs. Here comes the number 48. They have this 3-car pack, all side by side. The 1, the 60, and you have the 81 and the 31, and then you have Water. And then if we wait a bit, because it is a lot of separation between these guys, so I'm having to fix my brace. Actually, give me a second. I'm back. Sorry, I'm just taking this off. As we do have the GTD car class just coming through here now, which is what I wanted to see now, is BQ is going to, and Chris, both taking that spot away from Connor. And here they are. And actually, let's just wait for the leaders to come around again. So this is 1 full lap for the leaders, which is about a minute and a half now. So you're going to see how close they're getting from lapping them a second time now, which it is getting fairly close. As here comes Beast. They're the trial crossing the line now. Beast will take that lap, and now here comes the leader. Number 48 of Comrade. He's going to lead this lap, and that will lead a lot of battling to do. A bit further behind. And this is quite a bit of battling. Odin stuck on the outside. And he's going to try the inside on Juscon. He's going to hold him. He's going to hold Juscon. And that's going to really hold up Juscon, as Juscon getting passed by Odin's teammate. A little alliance there with Odin and Florida Boy. Odin slows him. Florida gets him. As they'll go through the 180, Juscon still holding on. He's trying to still stay on the inside. You're seeing Juscon versus Florida. Juscon's going to get the spot. So a little help there from Odin, but it's not going to be enough for this race right here. But here comes Florida Boy trying to go around the outside off exit. Florida has most momentum, but will it carry through this corner into the braking zone? Florida, Juscon. Juscon kind of forced to go a little bit wide there, but that's going to open up the room for Trafari to go ahead and try to make his way up into this battle now. Let's take a look at the two teammates battling it out. You do have Nascar and Camry. Camry currently sitting last in the race, which there's a lot that can happen. There's a lot that can change. So hopefully this number 97 can find pace a bit later on in this race. Maybe he has better pace throughout the night. You know, there's always different types of scenarios that these drivers do have. And let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the 25 of Chris catching number 16. Now we saw Chris go off in the roar. I don't think we see him go off again. As we just come around to about 6th in game time. About half an hour away from sunset. From being night, the transition over. I think that's what we're waiting for right now, is the transition to go ahead, start going over to night, start cooling the track. And when are these headlights going to become more and more important for vision? I think that's whenever we start to see the track changes, how visible the headlights are. And I think that's kind of our indicator without actually having a temperature on there, or without actually having a gauge. Now, let's take a look at the number 18 of Beast. He's catching up to these cars. He's trying to not get lapped by that number 48 of Comrade. But these two WeatherTech AMG Mercedes have really been battling all night, as that Era Delara making his way through. They're so aggressive when getting past this traffic. Now let's take a look at Comrade and the number 48. He's going to be making his way through here in the Rolex 6 hour, as local time 6 p.m. here in Florida. Started at 4, it is now 6. 4:30 Eastern Standard Time now. As these cars really just flying throughout the track. And now this 48 is going to start lapping here pretty soon. He's going to start getting these GT3s. He's going to start picking them off one by one, while also trying to keep the decent lead to the 02 of Odin. Now here he goes. He's going to split the middle. Comrade splitting the middle here with the GTD car class. And like, that is such an aggressive move, but he made it work. Let's take one more instant replay of this as he's heading down the straight. I mean, they are 3 wide, and he just gets on through it. And That is what you got to do if you're the car class leader. You got to find situations to get through that. You got to find ways that other people aren't going to take. And, well, for sure say I was not going to take that route if I was driving one of these. Now let's take a look at Odin. How are they going to get past these dueling Mercedes? Odin looking for 3 wide. Is he going to force them? No. He will let that 97 go around the outside, which is not something you mostly see here at Daytona. You don't really see cars get around the outside there. But he did, and then, ooh. That 79 gets super close onto the curb and almost pulled a Colt there, almost ending his race. Now, see, these car classes really start to kind of separate here as the 48 of Comrade. He's going to make his way past NASCAR fan. Now he's picking off Connor. This is when race pace is really going to start to be shown. And now he's going to get past the 25. He's going to get stuck behind BQ. And he needs to get going if he's going to continue on this pace to win this race now. And everyone else is stuck. Odin all the way back here. They got stuck behind a lot of these GTs. So Comrade with a 5-second lead, and it's gaining. There's 8K trying to get around the outside, and he's going to be really strong. And the 01's into the pits. Florida into the pits. Any damage to that car? I don't believe so. But let's take a look on why he came in. I think it was just hard racing. Actually, you know what? No. This is the opening for the fuel window for the DPIs. Because guess who's also in? That number 81 of 1, LMP2. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a lot of these cars start to come in. Because the fuel window did just open. Here's Beast. He already pitted, so I would guess his fuel window, he could probably run until 45 minutes down, and then he has to come in. Which is very interesting. We only saw Florida and Juan come in at DPI and an LMP2. And very interesting is here's Odin trying to make his way through traffic. And very interesting that we're seeing these guys pit a bit early. Now just gone having a battle for second. He's going to try to break later than that number 10, Acura, and he will. So the number 10, who's an Acura in real life, that's why I said that. The 10 will lose quite a bit of positions there. And he's on the apron. The 10 has a cone. The 10 has a cone stuck to the front of his car. I believe forced off, and everybody coming into the pits now. Your leaders, every single Delara P217, all into the pits. And the 10, let's see what happened to him, as I believe forced off the track. Yes, he was. Forced off the track heavily. Actually, I don't think he was forced off. I mean, let's just see this. He just goes wide. Number 10 goes wide. And that'll put him through the grass. And the stewards have said no investigation necessary. The fault was on the number 10 of 8K. So no penalties will be handed out there. And you see Florida and Beast, they're racing each other, but really Beast is racing to, I believe, unlap himself, as they will come around this time by. It's a long stop. Comrade will get out first, and actually Florida, he is raging down that front, but it's not going to be enough. Coming out second will be Odin, then Citrafari. Citrafari made up quite a few spots there in that, pit window. That's going to put that 48 on brand new tires. That 18 on old. Now, the 10, I believe, had to get new tires because the old ones just had a lot of grass on them. But I think as well, their pit crew did decide to take the cone off the front because he will not be needing that for the rest of the race. But very interesting that he went off this early on, and that's very, very strange. But, of course, at the same time, this is hard racing that these guys are doing, as we now are a little bit past the 6 time. I'm going to say a good 6:15. About 6:20 in game. And that sun, you can already kind of start to see it. It's starting to go down just little by little. And 18 a beast. He's still trying to race these guys like he's racing them for position. Although that they are DPIs, and he really can't race them for position that well. Although he does have the straight line speed too. Let's take a look at the LMP2 car class leader. That will be Water after the pit stops. Water will now lead your LMP2 car class, and behind Water will be Juan and then Beast. Now here's Beast. He's wanting to join in on the Cadillac fun, but they're not going to let him. They're going to hold him behind. And 8K has actually dropped back below a lot of these LMP2 drivers. I think he's still kind of still trying to get back in the mindset after that crash, and that's a very normal thing that you see after these guys go off the track or get into crashes. They have to get right back into the mindset. And here's a NASCAR fan making a move on Connor. Now Connor is running very similar lap times to BQ. Sorry. Yeah, actually, sorry. NASCAR fan, fastest on track right now, and the number 47 Ferrari. So, I mean, it'd be great to see the Ferrari get a win here today, but will he have the pace to catch up to that 9? That's all the way up there. Lizard has been leading most of this race in this car class, and will anybody really be able to stop him today? I don't think so. I think Lizard is going to have a pretty dominant race here today. And I am back as these guys racing pretty hard up here, trying to just get, you know, better spots. And now here's Water. Bit of racing going on for the LMP2 lead. Juan's going to go around the outside, and Juan will take the LMP2 car class lead. And actually, Beast was the leader for that car class because he was able to stay out. But now that he's in with that different strategy, when these pit cycles cycle out, it's really going to be Juan who should be leading this car class, unless the 18 early pit stop. That was a really good strategy. I don't see him getting back out there. Let's take a look at this number 9 of Lizard. Really in a good lead of this race. I mean, he is at an amazing gap back, and actually the gap back is about 3 seconds, and it's really not closing. Sorry, 3.5. It's really not closing that much. But I think now that these cars in the DPI car class are starting to single file out, they're learning that if you just don't race each other, go faster. So I think now they're kind of starting to learn it, and I think Florida might be able to lead the charge to the number 48, if anything happens to that 48, of course, and Beast back out onto the track, the 48 just behind him. It's very difficult trying to lap that number 18, and there goes Odin around the outside. The two Cadillac boys racing each other super hard. And the O2 is going to go a little wide. That's going to lose him some time. Odin will hold that spot on Citrafari. And look at the dive bomb by Cam in the 31. Wheeling machine. They're going to be side by side through the turn number 5. 31. He's going to get right next to the 60. No contact, but it did get very, very close. The 31 still trying to get past the 60 here. But the 60 neck and neck through this last corner. The 31's going to fall back just a bit, but he's going to be in the draft this entire way. Now Juan back into the LMP2 lead. Sorry, Water is. My apologies. Water back into the LMP2 lead. Very, very cool to see that number 69 G Drive back into the lead of this race. And now, later on in this race, you know, track is going to variate, and so is the weather. It's going to get cooler. It's going to get hotter. The clouds, the winds, the directions, everything's going to be changing in this race. So you're going to see what car is the best for handling all of those different type of conditions. Now, let's take a look at the number 48 of Comrade going around the high side here. He's going to be lapping Hunter this time by. Now, first time we're seeing a DPI lap in LMP2. Hunter's not going to let this go, though. He's going to run right up to the wall. Now, Comrade is going to get past. And we will not have to throw out any type of penalties at Hunter for evading blue flags. But that will be that. Hunter had to give the spot, and he did. And that is about that. He can try to get a spot back, but if he does try to do that and crash the 48, that will be some type of penalty as they go around. And they are going to be lapping the GTD cars once more, as here's Comrade up on the high side. Hunter's going to try something, but not just there. And I think we're going to start seeing Comrade maybe pull away. Hunter on the fresher tires, though. That could have some type of impact. Pit road is always open, but the pit window for these GTD cars will open here very shortly. As it comes around, about 7 local time here at Daytona International Speedway. And we have the entire night to go through now, as the lights start to get dimmer. Or sorry, the natural light starts to get dimmer, and the light everywhere else starts to get brighter. Here at IMSA, every car has headlights on it, and well, they're gonna need them here pretty soon. And let's ride on board this 48 as he makes his way through all of this traffic. Now, just on board with him right now. It's honestly going to be very, very interesting to seeing how he's able to manage this traffic while also still leading this race, as he's just going around the outside of most of these guys. And this part of the track is his main opportunity to catch them, but he's not really able to very well. Take a little bit look of, and there's Hunter trying to unlap himself. He does have the fresher tires. Now, if they keep on battling like this, that's going to really let Florida and the rest of the pack kind of start leading in, starting to get closer and closer. Actually, somebody's got to back out of that Florida battle, and it will be Florida. Lapped car got in their way, and that's going to move Cam up here. Cam, he's had an eventful race. He really has. He's had the pace. And that's really cool to see him right there. And we see Cam right here. He's on it. He is really on it. He's already reeling in Hunter. I mean, sorry, not reeling in Hunter. He's already reeling in Comrade. Cam is on it, and he is pulling away from them, and he is reeling in Comrade. And this could be the driver that we see take the lead away from Comrade for the first time. But also, Comrade is having to make his way through traffic while also having to try to not let that 18 unlap himself. He's just trying to keep that 18 behind him as he makes his way through traffic, passing BQ right now. There goes Hunter, trying to get around the outside once more. It's not going to work. As you're seeing the track become shinier and shinier, and there's a lot more grip laid down, and it's not as bright out. Well, we start getting into this stage of the race. Tire temp, warming up your tires. Some teams will even just keep their tires on the pit wall in this hot Florida sun, trying to get some type of temperature in them before they put them onto the wall before it gets really, really cold at nighttime here in Florida, Daytona Beach. And these cars are all running very, very smoothly now. Pit window for these GT3s do open now for the next couple of laps too. They will be open, and they will stay open for quite some time. They'll stay up until about the end of the hour. But that's also in DPI. Kind of pit window starts to open is around the end of the hour. And we do have 13 and a half minutes until the end of the hour. Now look at this, Cam and Florida. Florida trying to go around the outside. Cam in second. Cam under late braking, side by side. He will go a little bit wide, but he's not going to go off the track. Florida will take second place once more. Let's take a look here. As you see Comrade and Beast go through two very fast cars. And now GTD is starting to come in at number 9. The number 9 has came in. The 25, the 47. All of these guys going in right now. And sorry about that. Let me just get this out of your way. As more drivers start to come in, all of these guys in the GT car class. And let's take a look at the exit. The 79 and the 97 and the 2116, they all stay out. Very interesting strategy. You see 4 of these guys come in and 3 will stay out. So a little over half come in and the rest will stay out. My guess is that they will come in next time by. Now I'll take a look at the sky over there. You can kind of see the colors in the back just changing that small tint. That is kind of what we're looking at here, is that tint change. As for any of you guys just joining, welcome to the Rolex 6 hour. And a little recap, Comrade has led most of this race, and that number 9 car has really been dominating the GTD car class, but with half the cars coming in for their pit cycle and half of them staying out, that number 9 could keep or could have that lead taken away from him. Connor's going to stay in his pit box a little bit longer than normally recommended, as now see a lot of good racing in the DPI category. The 2 Cadillac Racing in that, the 31, the Wheelin', I want to say Wheelin' Cadillac, and you do have the 5 just back there as well. All in this battle here, as they will have to make their way through GT traffic. And new leader in the GT car class, the number 79 will lead it off. NASCAR Xfinity Daytona winner will lead us off in the GTD category. And welcome in JustCon, as now about 10 minutes in real life time till sunset, and you can already see the sky colors changing in game time. Just about 7. Sunset is about at 8, and we are about 5 maybe 20 minutes in game into about that hour. So I'd say about good 7:20 time in game as we just get closer and closer to the nighttime transition at Daytona International Speedway. Now let's take a look at the number 48. Leading this off, he's trying to keep Beast behind him. And I think it should start to work as Beast's tires start to wear off. But Juan, 19 back on Comrade, so it's very possible that that LMP2 gets lapped, but it's not guaranteed. And actually, I want to bring this up right now. LMP car class, they're having a battle for the lead right now, and actually Water is in the lead, and you're going to have 8K just there, and 8K slow because going through there, that makes me think when that number 10 went off into the grass and it was really bumpy, did that get him any type of floor damage? Because he seems to be pretty slow, and that can do it to you. If you have floor damage, that can really slow you in the corners, straight line, basically anywhere. And that number 97 is into the pits, but that number, sorry, that 79 is into the pits, and the 97 will stay out. So 97, you're a new leader in that WeatherTech Mercedes AMG, staying out one more lap. That'll be one more time here, or maybe 2 more laps, as the DPI fuel window will open in about 3 minutes, and it will go on for maybe another 5 after that, maybe 7, 10. Because these cars have to pit about every hour, so I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing some guys come in very, very soon, get their fuel, get new tires, or double cent your tires if it's going into the night. You want to have as much heat in those tires as possible in the transition to night, the transition to the cold track. You see the night sky already changing from the beginning of the race. The track has already changed quite a bit as well. As Comrade 11-second lead back to Cam. Really that clean air helping him quite a bit. But one wrong move and that gap can be gone to that number 31 wheeling DPI. And really the car classes here are very different. Some of them are a lot faster, some of them are a lot slower. And Lizard will retake the lead of that GTD car class. And Chris just behind, then it's going to be BQ, Nascar fan, and then it'll be Connor. Then just behind him will be Tub, Nascar, and still in the pits will be Camry. And that's 60 going a little wide. That's exactly what happened to AK right there. Went a little wide into the grass and kind of cut through right here, joined back. And, well, I mean, he had a cone right there, so does slow him down just a bit. And Comrade finally be able to pull away from that number 18. And actually, this 97 in here for quite a bit. We'll see if he will get out here pretty soon, but he's about to get lapped by his own class leader. How long has he been in here for? It's been decent time so far, but here comes his class leader, the number 9, Lizard. The 97 still in the pit. This will be the first car lapped down in the GTD car class. Bad pit strategy on their behalf. BQ trying to get past Chris, and he will. Now as we kind of enter into the sunset phase, this is when the track temp is going to start coming down. The cars are going to become a lot faster in the corners, but slower on the straights. Headlights are going to be able to start becoming more dominant. You're going to start seeing them a lot more. And I think this is kind of when we start transitioning more onto on-board cameras. But definitely very, very interesting, as still a lot of racing to go. Keep in mind, it's 6 hours, and we are only done with about 55 minutes, so not even a 6th there yet. Well, it's about to be 6th way there. And, I mean, still a lot to happen, like I said. Cam has been seeming to get away from these packs, but then they'll just reel them back in because of the high draft here at Daytona. Keep in mind, next race here in the IMSA WeatherTech Series, Sebring, 3 hours. 3 hours at Sebring International, and Florida cleared himself, but that could have gone a lot worse if he would have cleared himself maybe a few seconds earlier. And mine, Sebring, 3 hour. Few drivers will keep their ratings up at 100, and others down to 96. And some will keep it at a 98 if they attend. But a lot of, things happening on this track, and not only here at the racetrack, but also down in the infield. Families cooking dinner, crew members having dinner, and that can make it hard as a driver whenever you're in there. Just want to get out the car and go eat yourself. But here we have it here at Daytona. Ferris wheel going on in the infield, and campers, they're not going to be able to get any sleep tonight, as these cars will be roaring around the track for the next 5 hours, 20 hours in game time, but only 5 hours for us. That 31er Cam has kind of started to reel in Comrade. He's kind of had a similar pace. Only thing is if Cam wants to get up there, he has to lap Hunter, which is one of the hardest things to do, especially because he's in the same car. It's just the skill that's a little bit off. Now here's the 79 of Camry. A win for Camry yesterday in IRSS. First of all, I want to say congrats to him about the win, and I want to say congrats for getting that IRSS win, and it's a major accomplishment, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the win here today, as he is in last still. And he's not lapped, sorry. I am just drunk. He's not lapped by the class leader, but this is him and the class leader all the way in the infield already. So quite a difference. And let's ride on board the number 9 Porsche as... Actually, no, sorry. Let's go to the pit lane camera so then you can see if anyone pits, as... We'll go to this camera for the amount of time that it takes me to go downstairs and get me a water. So, and meanwhile, IRSS, we will be... sorry, not... I can't talk. iRacing Sim Series, IRSS. We will be right back in less than a minute. And we are back in IRacing Sim Series booth. We'd like to welcome you back here to Daytona International Raceway, where the sunset stage has finally begun. And in, I want to say, about 15 minutes time, the track will be all night, as I believe you may start to see headlights become, a little more appeared on the track, as the pit window has just opened for Comrade. He's down in the infield right now. That number 48 Cadillac. Ally, or really it's the Ally 48. There you see track, the daylight just transitioned. Just transitioned over to nighttime here in Daytona, Florida. Headlights are a little bit more visible on the Ferraris. Take a look and you can kind of see headlights whenever it gets a bit more close. But it's definitely becoming more prompt that the headlights are on and they are ready to get used now. But it's not more visible on the 48 or really any other car, so I'll have to wait a little bit more for that. Pit window does open for the DPI car class. Nobody pulls in this time. It opens about 30 minutes time, and well, we are about a minute past 30 minutes. And he's going to get past another Ferrari. As if you're just now joining live, welcome to the Daytona 6 Hour. Comrade leading most of this race, and he has been leading for over 30 laps, I'm going to say. And we are just now transitioning over to the nighttime stage where the lights, natural light, are coming down, and headlights and infield lights, they are going up here at Daytona. I have a massive voice crack, but keep in mind, we are here at Daytona, so it is a pretty well lit area. But it is definitely still going to have a transition on their tires, especially if you got new ones in the pits. Those tires are not going to be warmed up whenever it is full nighttime, and you do have to come right back in. As you can just see on the floor there, the lights starting to come into play. And the number 48 Ally Cadillac going to lap the number 16 Porsche of BQ. Take a look back at the number 47. Getting lapped by the number 18 Era Motorsports. LMP2, a beast. And the 24 Connor just behind him. Still in the draft range, I want to say. Take a look back at Comrade as he's catching the GT3 leader. And the battling is somewhat calmed down here. It's still massive battling back here. It's not calmed down at all. A little bit more spaced out, but still some really good battles between Citrafari and Florida Boy. And my guess is Citrafari will be going for Odin next as Comrade. A 12-second gap to Cam. Now, Cam's actually been able to somewhat manage that gap, but Odin, Florida, it's gone down by 3 seconds. You can just see first, second, and third. A lot of those cars in one frame, but you're not going to be able to see that for quite long. And there's still quite a bit of light up here on the track. And here at Daytona, and we're just going to get a wide view going right here. Not that wide, but we're going to get a decent sized view so you can see just the lights and sights and sounds here at Daytona International Speedway here. Just how much faster these cars really are. Let's kind of focus in on this battle from above. The 1 and the 2. And the 2 slow through there, and that is Odin. He will drop back down to 4th, and Florida up into 3rd. Here goes Citrafari. Going up there on the high side. Will he get 2 for 1? Florida's going to go up there, act like he's going to block it, but he's not. Florida Boy is not going to lose that spot. He's going to go right back down to fight it. Now, very interesting that you're seeing Florida fight this position really hard. And I mean, the 48 just now exiting the infield road course part, and it seems like right now there's not too much of a spread of the field, as nobody, if you are out of the infield part, you are just now exiting 2, and everybody else is in there, and you have the 97 last place just now going through turn number 5, and the 48 just now exiting turn number 11. And here we go. Now we're 30 in to live streaming this race, and I want to say thank you guys for sticking with me here, as the colors in the sky changing so much, and just can't wait for those colors all to be black and for the stars to be shining here at Daytona as we transition over into the nighttime. Now keep in mind, Sebring after this, and Sebring's ending at night. It's not starting at night. So, I mean, different there, and you can see the rubber laid on already, and that's going to make it even harder to get your tires up to temperature. And the first DPI is in to the pit lane. That'll be the 01 of Florida Boy. That number 01 Cadillac. First car into the pits. Now, as we'll watch this view, do we see anybody else come in? And next car that will pass this camera will be the race leader, Comrade. Now Comrade coming around, exiting turn number 4 just now. And he's slowing Comrade into the pits. And the 01's just now leaving. Perfect timing, really. Trying to not get lapped. And the 18 of Beast, he's going to stay out, and he's going to probably pit in the next 5 minutes. And there's the 31 of Cam. He's in. Citrafari, your new leader, just gone just behind him, and the 10 also in. Juan and Water both in. That is all of the LMPs, the only car that stayed out. The 18, but the race leader will be the number 60 DPI of Citrafari. So Citrafari will be leading a few laps here at Daytona. Amazing to see the number 60 into the lead here. Citrafari actually having iRacing, but not racing today. He did compete in this year's Daytona 24 on iRacing. Did not know how he finished, but I also competed in it, but we don't want to talk about mine. But Citrafari really doing an amazing job today. As you can just see the lights now, they've came into play. The lights are here, and there's no way that you can miss it now. And I mean, Justcon trying to catch Citrafari, trying to be the race leader, and I believe we should see Citrafari go in this time by. See him come into the pits and see him really maybe get some new tires. I feel like what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing everybody get these new tires. Everybody taking about a minute, and here he goes in. So Citrafari into the pits is gonna make it harder for his tires to go. So is that number 5 of Justcon. And they're going to pull into their box. Here's the 48. He still has a good lead to Cam. But it's not the lead that he had before. He had to stay an extra 7 seconds in his box, Comrade did. That's going to close the gap to that number 31. So, amazing race pace, but honestly, not good pit crew. And you got to have both. You got to have good race pace and good pit crew and minimize mistakes. And, well, that's one big mistake for something that's going to happen about 8 times, maybe 7 times in this race. And the night, just so close to becoming night. I'm basically going to call it night right now because, well, only thing left in the sky is maybe a little bit of that tone. And it's going to be pitch black here in 10 minutes or so. And it's only been 10 minutes for it to turn into this kind of color. And, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. As there's some good battling with lapping cars, and I believe that was Cam having to lap Hunter, no, sorry, that's Odin having to lap Hunter. And, you know, this is some of the first times that we're seeing LMP2 get lapped, so there's still a lot to learn here, but at the same time, this is for position, but once pit cycles do go through, Hunter will be an actual lap down from him. Hunter's actually pulling away. He got past Juscon, and now Juscon's having to fight through there. All 18 cars still running here. One mistake so far, and now we go through this part of the race. About an hour and 20 down in this 6th hour. Into nighttime, here we go. Track changes gonna be happening, and well, this is going to be a very exciting and fun race now as the 48 comes around to lap the GTD field for the 4th time in this race. And first car that he will lap will be the 97. The 9 just about exiting. So number 2 right now, so a very big gap to those 2 cars. And the 18, a beast, is now in. And let's get this camera angle to a little bit better. Sorry, and I've been doing this a little bit more now. So this will be the onboard camera angle for about every DPI, and I'll do the same, but a better camera for all the GT3s as we're on board with Comrade. And that's a GT3 wide. The 79 will go wide there. And that was a big mistake by him. I mean, big mistake. Really. That could have been even worse, but luckily it was not. And well, that car is still pointed in the right direction, but still pretty bad. There is. Now we will go ahead and set up the camera for this guy, and both Mercedes, as you're able to ride along with him or any DPI. And let's go back. So when he went wide, I wonder why that was. Let's listen. Sounds like he just turned in to kind of give the 48 Cadillac way, and well, he did have the blue flag, so kind of had to, but at the same time he was not obligated to. As let's take a look at the number 31. He's chasing down Hunter. Hunter braking super early, not having those temps, not having the heat in the tires. And sorry for a little bit of this. You will hear me start messing with the cameras, just because I do need to get this set up for night, and I didn't have time to before the race. But I will have these cameras for every other race now. which will be nice to have, especially for races like this one, where there will be moments that you do need this. You're just on board. Now on board the 25 BMW, and maxing it out on the revs, and here's the Ferrari. Kind of mounted right on part of the windshield. Let's move it a little bit over here, maybe back. Just sorry, and there we go. We have a good camera angle for the Ferrari now, and I mean, this is just Daytona and it's nighttime, and this is prime Daytona here. Nighttime racing, you're gonna see who has the best race pace, and Cam is 3/10 off last lap from the leader, so interesting. But Comrade really knows how to manage this traffic, and really knows how to manage a lot of this better than, you know, a few of these guys. Let's right on board with Juan. Now is second place in the car class, trying to hunt down the number 69 of Water. And he's trying his best. About 4 seconds back for him. 3 seconds, sorry. But he can only do so much as he has to get past this GT3 traffic. And here's where the GT3 sees. I mean, just getting passed by these LMP2s and these DPIs must be scary, especially on tight parts of the track. As you can just hear the different types of engines. Now let's take a look at the 16. In his Verizon, you can see the number 9 race leader for the GT3s. And BQ, really the faster car. 2/10 faster than that number 9. So we could see a later in the race passes. Both of them just really running their line right now. Not in major threats of DPI traffic, and this is when it starts to get more spread out. This is the part of the race that you're saying who has the most race pace is going to get the lead, and battles are going to be more exciting. And look at that. Look how close he's gotten already to the number 9 Porsche. The 16 really showing that number 9 that he has speed, but he does have to let go some of these DPIs, and he has to let off. Gets a little tight, a little loose in that corner just because of the 1. But the 1's going to have to possibly even slow up the 9 to get past him. But he's not. Blue flags are waving for both of the cars. The 9 has to give way. And now they're just running their own line. And hopefully the draft can keep these cars decently close, as of course the 16 is out of the 9's draft. But later on in this race can still be, you know, later on in the race this can still get very, you know, close and interesting, as you can already see the gap that the 16 is created. He's closed on the 9 and he's created to the 25. But I mean, it's still a long race, anything can happen. An hour and 20 minutes have been completed. Four hours and 40 minutes remain. Now the 9's going to have to give up the entrance into the corner, try just a bit. That's going to enable the 16 to get a lot closer. The way that you're throwing the car in is really the driving style that you have here. You just kind of throw the car in, and that's about that. Let's go on board the 5 of Juscon. Back in 6 now. We saw him work his way through the field in the Roar. We saw him kind of drop to the back, be in the middle, get up to the front, and we saw him win it. So we're going to ride on board him as he just making his way past the 9, and so is the 10. And the 9 has to go way wide. That's going to open up a little bit more of a gap for the 10 to get through, but that has closed the gap to the 16. There goes Water, LMP2 race leader. You should see Juan go through here down the next kind of NASCAR 3 and 4, and Water gets past him, but he's going to force him to brake and get offline just a little bit. As you can see, the rubber laid on, sorry. That's what they're having to work with now. Pit window for DPIs should open up in about 8 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe 15, but it's around the 30-minute mark. You're going to see these guys pit, but fuel saving could become a really big thing. That could even save you an entire pit stop. In this race, Juan goes past, like I said, and he's going to compromise the 9. Big compromise for the 9. Having to let the 81 go. And look at this gap. It is closed so much. A little bit of a lockup by the 81. And that 48 way in the distance. He is just now exiting turn number 2, and Comrade really there. And Cam has been the faster car, 0.2 faster than Comrade. Florida Boy faster than Cam. So Florida Boy, I believe, fastest on track. No, it's very close between Florida and Odin, two of the fastest cars out on track right now. And Comrade, one of the kind of mid cars on pace wise. That's big news. We could see a possible big change for the lead here in just a bit with the 31 and the 48, but no other traffic for them to pass so far. But in a few laps there will be. Take a look at the 16 and the 9. 16 just kind of now in the drafting range. He is about less than a second back, and he is able to gain on these straightaways, I believe, in the draft. Yes, he is. He's in the draft of that 9. So the 9 really needs to start defending hard if he does not want BQ to catch and win this 6-hour race. As you can see the Ferris wheel going on. That's what I was talking about earlier. It is becoming nighttime, and now it is nighttime. And the 9's going to go way off, and he's going to get loose. That's going to close the gap a lot to the 16. But can the 16 keep this gap that short? It's all on driver pace now. Can he keep this gap this close? Or can he not? He's going to get a little loose in the rear. That's going to open up the gap just a little bit more for these drivers. A little bit more of a gap. There's the 9. There's the 16. In drafting range for that number 16. But will it be enough in this lap to possibly get him down the front stretch? That's a question that I don't know the answer to personally. There he goes, closing in on the gap. But the closer that you get, the more dirty air you have, but the better the draft you have. That gap between Cam and Comrade down by quite a bit. 6.5 seconds separates the two. the draft, keeping the 16 in range. It's not going to be enough this time. But he's getting closer and closer by every lap. And you saw the 9. He thought he might have taken a defensive line, but then he pulled right back in. And in real life, this number 16, I believe, won the GTD AM class at Laguna Seca. Very exciting for their team, and I believe someone on their team did have a birthday at that race. It was a driver, so happy birthday. Happy late birthday. Late by about a week now, but it is what it is. So the 16 catching the 9. BQ catching Lizard. It's all going to be happening right here live. No breaks, no interruptions here on the iRacing Sim Series YouTube channel. As we are just now about at 11 at night here at Daytona. Sorry, 10 at night. 10 to 11, let me check. Just coming up to 10 at night here at Daytona. And this is when it's going to get interesting with all these cars having to race each other while also getting through the traffic or getting past and minimizing the loss of not having the racing line. As there goes the 16 trying to move on the 9. It's not going to work. He's going to go a little bit wide. That was not the place to make the move. He has to start reeling him in, and then in turn number 3 and 4, that's when you strike it down to the line. Just see in the background Chris, and that gap, Cam, it has gained just a bit by 0.2. As here it goes, the 16 versus the 9. 1.5 hours into this race. Race for the lead of the GTD class. Who's going to get it? Both down the back stretch. Couple car lengths separate them. The 9 taking the defensive route. That's going to let the 16 close in. 16 gets on the gas. Perfect timing. He's strong in the draft now. Look at this gap. It's closed. Battle for the GTD class lead. The 16, BQ, trying to get around the outside. Lizard on the inside. They are side by side. Coming to the tri-oval. BQ leads this lap. But Lizard's not going to let him take it. They're neck and neck down into the braking. BQ's going to edge it out, but now Lizard will clear BQ. So Lizard clears BQ, and he will hold on to the race lead, but BQ can just get past him. That's it. But the 9 will be able to hold back on, is the question. Cam has really lost that gap. His comrades really started to find that pace again. As also, comrade could be a factor. Any LMP could be a factor to this battle, seeing how it's so close now. And here's something that I want to look at. Let's look at Just Gone real quick. Him in 8K. 8K has had quite a comeback, really. From being so far down, I think 8K it has a strong car here today, and he could for surely win this race now. Back to the battle with BQ and Lizard. And Lizard's going to get loose, and he's going to go wide. Two things that you don't want to do in that corner, because that's going to ruin your momentum all the way up here, especially if you're in the leader and BQ is just behind you. Now BQ's going to take a look to the high side. Off the banking. That's when the most momentum's going to happen. BQ to the high side. Pit window opens for the DPIs and LMP2s just now, by the way. The BQ. Lizard side by side. Almost a little contact. But Lizard's going to keep the lead. As very close for these two drivers here. Late on in this race. It is now 10 p.m. in this race session. Keep in mind, if you're watching live or if you're just now joining, battles going on for the GTD lead. We are an hour and 30 into this race, and the lead could change. Lizard takes the defensive line. BQ just the back of him. They are really close. Now here comes the 48. Comrade could change this entire thing. Comrade around the outside. Both had the blue flags. BQ running the high side. He's trying to get the most momentum. He's going to take that momentum and try to use it up on the high side. BQ. Will he lead this lap? It's going to be Lizard. And BQ edges him. But here's Lizard. He's not going to give it up. Side by side through turns number 2 and 3. BQ takes the lead. Lizard had to back out. BQ's going to go wide, though. That does leave the opportunity there for Lizard to still catch. And keep in mind, Cam's still back there. He can still interfere with this battle for the race lead in the GTD car class. As BQ, your new GTD leader. But here is the 9. Right there. Lizard ready to pounce on the 16. Cam just went by, and next car is Florida. He's quite a bit back, 8 seconds. Now look at this. BQ is going to take the defensive line. Here's Lizard just to the back. Kind of looks like what just happened. Here goes the number 9. Round the outside. BQ's going to make him work it on the outside as he's not clear. He's not going to let off. Lizard, he's still going to try to fight it. And he will. And he is going to retake the lead back. The number 9 right back into the lead. 18. And the 1. And the 9's going to get loose once more. Now look at this. They're not as far apart as they were last lap whenever BQ is in the lead and Lizard was in second. And that 16 is going to go wide. And Chris into the pits. He did drive in there. But any type of damage from these LMPs? No. Pit strategy for that number 25. That's really weird that he would come in. He did drive it in. But no anything else, so Interesting strategy for him. And he's going to get back out. Take a look at the 47 and Connor. This battle's about to go on as well. Connor has been showing better pace than the 47, but the 47 earlier on was showing better pace as well. Race for the lead. BQ wants it again. Lizard's not going to let him have it. Into the braking. BQ just a bit ahead. But look at Lizard. Not going to let him get it. BQ's right back in a second where he's been sitting for most of this race. Comrade has also been leading for most of this race. The 47 and the 24 are both in. So it's the pit window is also open for about everyone now. Everybody's pit window is open, and I think we could start seeing the DPIs, LMP2s, all out on track. Or sorry, not all out on track, but all into the pit lane. Now let's watch the pit lane. Who's going to come in? Who's going to stay out? The number 48 is going to stay out this time. So is the 31. We are mainly going to be watching this battle for the lead. Because one could go in, one can stay out, and that can change the way that this lead goes. The 16 is slower. He did lose quite a bit of time. Let's see what happened. The 9 had to check up, and then he just went wide. Yeah, 9 had to check up, then 16 got loose, and traction control was not making it able for him, and both are in. Now this can really decide who's going to lead the GTD category. Right here. This can be the deciding factor. The 21 of Tubb, he's already back out onto the track. Do we see the 79 go in, or is their pit strategy just to make it last as long as possible? They're trying to make it last. As now, that's the leader passing by, 48. Comrade. And there's Cam, second place. Quite a big gap between the two. Now, the next car that they are racing, that will be the 47. Actually, sorry, no. It's not that, and BQ gets an incredible jump on Lizard. And I think that is that for that race. Let's take a look at the number 69, LMP2 of Water. He's trying to get past 8K, but 8K is going to hold on to it as they approach some more cars. JustCon and all them. It's a very, very interesting race so far. Whole bunch of drivers now. All racing for one win. As a lot of racing has happened in this race just now, creeping up on, I'm gonna say midnight in game. No, sorry, just creeping up on about 10. No, that's not 10. Is that 10? 10:30 in game time. .30 in game time is what we are creeping up to, and well, it's been definitely very, very interesting and very fun. this race has been with different cars and all of that. But as well, if you guys want to, make sure you sign up for this. And car in the pits, that will be a DPI. The one in, that'll be Florida Boy. I think he's going to start off the chain of all the DPIs going in. And I think it's going to start off this time by with the 48 going in. And that's whenever we're going to see them all go in. You hear one of the Mercedes go by as the time is ticking downwards. 4 minutes 18, and there goes the DPI. So I think every DPI but Beast comes in this time by. Cam goes in. So I think we will see everybody now. This is where Cam was able to gain last time. Will he be able to gain this time? Let's see. And Citrafari is going to stay out. I think he's trying to make it last a lot longer than any else of these guys. Take a look at pit lane exit now. And mainly we'll catch all of the battles. Now, if Comrade has a pit as bad as last time, then that will make Cam the new leader once everything cycles through, which could show that it's clean air or that the 48 is super fast today. And now we'll watch for that 48 to come around, and we will watch him to get out of the pit box, as he has been in there for about 41 seconds. We estimate about a minute's worth of time. Maybe a little less than that, 55 seconds. There goes the 48. And Cam has a bit of a slower stop there. Maybe second, so Cam's going to lose out. As it has been a little over an hour 45 here at the iRacing Sim Series booth. We have not gotten way too far, but it has been 2 hours that I have been here commentating. Remember, 20 minutes of qualifying it about took. So, with that being said, for about 10 minutes here, I will go AFK, and whenever I'm back, I will be all ready to go once more and ready to commentate once more. In the meanwhile, let's leave you on an onboard camera here in the number 48 Cadillac, Ally Cadillac, and we will let him run you for 40 minutes in game time, 10 minutes our time, and maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe it might be less than that, but with that time left, I will be going, I will be going AFK real quick, and maybe 10 minutes, and then whenever I come back, we will continue commentating the Rolex 6 hours here at Daytona. And we are back from the iRacing Sim Series booth. Comrade completed 71 laps on his 72nd. And field pretty spread out as Cam 6 seconds back, then Citrafari 17. And, well, that's where all the battling's been going on. Florida and Citrafari both trying to battle it out super hard for that number 3rd place spot on the podium. But it's still very good racing between these guys. And it's now kind of separated out just a little more. Let's go on board Cam, as I haven't really seen Cam that much throughout today's races. Only kind of looked at him a few times. Let's go on board on him, and mostly going on board through these night stints is what we are doing here today, and that is about that. So here is Cam, and that 97 that he was passing. So let's check. Everybody is fine and everybody is doing quite well. So Cam a bit slow on that lap to his average pace. That is all normal. And just up there you see the leader, 48. He's been making his way through traffic very well throughout today's race. Now as we are kind of running through here, this race has had some very decent battles, but other than that, it's been pretty single filed out. But this is IMSA endurance racing, or as fastest will get the win, and whoever deserves it the most will get the win and the championship. And also, little announcement from me. Whenever F1 2022 comes out, F1 2022 League will also come out with about every track, and we will kind of split it up into continents instead of going to random tracks at random times. You'll have kind of Middle Eastern and the Asian Grand Prix all at once, and you'll have groups on continents, and then yeah, so that'll be very interesting. And we will be bringing over a few things from NASCAR from over there as well. But that is about all that I can talk about that for now. Until it actually releases, which is about in 2 months. The server should be created, and we will have more news about that. But that's about that. As now, 7 seconds. Not, sorry, 6.5. Actually, Cam is gaining quite a bit on Comrade. Is Comrade slow? No, Comrade just now getting that time back. He's passing 21 of Tub GTD. You should be able to see him pretty close now. And BQ will lead off Lizard, crossing the line now in the GT Daytona category. And Cam has really had a phenomenal performance today, really. We saw him kind of drop up to the back and then up into second, and now I feel like he's slowly reeling in Comrade, the 48. It's just going to take race pace. It's going to take patience. It's a lot about in the long term, which expected 233 laps today. And just now 4 hours remaining, and we just approach midnight now in the simulator. So I would say a little hour and a half, and you'll get right back to the daylight. You'll get back to good temperatures in the tires without having to warm them up for a couple of laps, and the daytime coming back, and can't wait for that. But Comrade getting held up by a bit of that lap traffic right now. Connor slowing him down. That's going to open up a little gap for Cam to catch. Now he's going to be able to get most of these guys in the tri-oval, but if they are side by side, he won't be able to. As Cam just now catching, and it's Citrifari and Florida Boy back there. Let's see recent lap times. The last lap, it was Cam that was faster by 0.5 of a second. A little bit of smoke there. So far, only thing that's happened is the 10 gone off, and maybe something happened while I was gone. I don't know. But look at that. They are side-by-side racing, so that's going to hold up Cam just a bit. That's if they can figure it out before the line, or Cam pulls a heroic and sends it 3 wide. So blue flags will be out for those guys. Cam's going to get down to the inside of the 47. But not the first BMW of Connor. And he's going to get stuck behind Chris as well. So Cam having to let off the gas quite a bit. Just caught them in the wrong spot. And, well, that's a lot of time lost on Comrade. But, you know, something like that could also happen to Comrade, too. Keep in mind, it's a long race here. You have a lot of time to prove that you're fast, and you don't want to rush it. You want to take it nice and calm. As we are now still on board with Cam. We're just getting closer and closer. We're edging closer and closer to the daylight break here at Daytona International Speedway. And I do hear that engine kind of stuttering. The 31, that could be him getting out of the gas. That could be him. That could be his engine. I mean, there's only so much that can happen that we can tell from the commentary booth here at Daytona. As he is catching up on race leader for the GTD car class, number 16. On board with the number 47. They're racing really hard here. 47 in the 24. That is the battle for 4th in the car class. Not too much to talk about LMP2. 3 seconds gap between the 2 race leaders in that car class. It's about the time that it takes for you to get through the Le Mans chicane in the backstretch. So there's the 18, a beast, LMP2 runner, but he has been lapped. So quite a far ways back if he wants to contend to win this race, but who knows if he will. as the 47 and the 25 still having a decently good battle. 48 just now exiting turn number 2 as we talk right now. There he goes. And let's take a look at the speed of these cars, especially the prototypes here. Take a look at the speed on the prototypes. We'll just watch the static cam, and you know, the amount of speed that these guys can carry through any corner is insane. And we'll keep on this camera until he starts lapping a few cars, and then we'll take a look at the speed difference between the LMP, sorry, not the LMP, but the DPIs and the GTDs. And you can see they're reaching upwards of 200 right there. And he's going into that first corner to long left-hander. You don't want to ruin your tires on it, though. But it is definitely very, very fast. And, I mean, fuel window should be opening up here pretty soon, for anybody that was wondering. To see these DPIs pit again. And all of that is... We've been live streaming for about 2.5 hours now, so I want to say thank you. If you're just now joining, welcome in. Comrade has led almost every lap of this race, and Cam trying to chase him down right now. Got a good battle for the lead of the GTD car class, and well, BQ in it on up top of that. Is still a long race today, though. Still a long ways to go. There goes the number 48 of Comrade. And he is getting close to number 97. 97 just now entering turn number 2. And Comrade down the front stretch here at Daytona. He has gained quite a bit on him. "73 laps completed for the GTD car class and 80 completed for the DPIs. Race after this, Sebring, 3 hours, which will end in the nighttime. And it's not very well lit up at Sebring. Daytona is one of the most well lit tracks here on the schedule, if not the most well lit track. So it's gonna be interesting seeing how these tracks will go ahead and advance over time. But as we have just heard, the number 97 Mercedes AMG, and I mean there's quite a difference between pace between a few of these cars. And after this, I'll probably be in the flight simulator and just go ahead and fly around Europe for a bit in Microsoft Flight Sim. Just because this is a long race and I need something to relax afterwards. So that is what I'll be doing. If any guys were wondering what I do after these races, I just play Flight Sim and chill as you see the Mercedes in the view of the camera now. Let's watch the speed difference. Here's the Mercedes, passes by still really fast. Then there's the prototype, just faster. It's faster by quite a bit too. As prototype will now lap the number 97 GTD once more. And now the 48 has been released. Try to go catch the number 79 GTD. We can already hear him as the number 48 crosses the line. 81 laps completed in today's race. 82 left. Sorry, 82. We have started. As you see the WeatherTech 79. He's now lapped them, and well, not much happening during the nighttime right now, and we about hit 1 a.m. here in just a few minutes. Just in about 3 minutes, we will hit 1 a.m. in this race, which is a bit of progression. About every 15 minutes, that is an hour that has gone by. So, with that being said, sunrise is about 6. We will have the sun back at us. About 2 hours, 30 minutes remain, and we have 3 hours and 47 minutes remain. So about good hour and 15 left before we see that sun really come up. And actually, we'll see the sun before that, but it won't actually transition the track until then. So, very interesting about this 48 Ally Cadillac. Now let's take through some of the scenes of this track. Just really everywhere there's a car. Really no really spaces. You see the 21 tub there, and here comes the 48. There are some cars just exiting the road course, and you have a few more just exiting, and that one being the 18 of Hunter. A few cars going down the front stretch. The 25, 47, and 24. Battle for the podium there. And there's the 21 and the 48. Here's the 31 and 79 going around. Cross the line. Now off the exit of the road course, I'm not seeing anyone. There we go. And here's the 79 and the 01 into the pit lane. So Florida boy in. It seems like he has a little bit of an early pitting schedule. He likes to come in a lot earlier before anybody else. So he definitely starts the DPI in their pitting strategies. Here's 8K. He also came in with, I believe, his floor damage, which you cannot fix here on the iRacing service and in real life. Which it sucks for that number 10 because started on pole. He has the first pit box. It just isn't working out for him. And we see the 48 come in this time. Comrade leading this race. He's slowing down. Comrade is into the pits. Now do we see Cam, though? Cam is also going to come in. My guess is we see Citrafari stay out, but Odin comes in. That's what I'm going to predict. Citrafari will stay out, and Odin will come in. So Citrafari will be your new race leader. As, actually, no, never mind. Florida Boy came out way ahead of Citrafari. Here's Florida Boy, your new overall race leader. And just look at all the dirt on those cars. That's how dirty these race cars get in a long race like this. It is now 1 a.m. race time. And we still have quite a long ways to go in this race. Here's your race leader, and well, sorry, Citrafari is your race leader. My apologies. I get this all wrong. So, Citrafari, your race leader now he is having Florida run from him. But we should see Citrafari pull in this time. And he will go into the pits, and I believe the same for JustCon too. Here's the O2. Here's JustCon. That's if he already came in, which he did not. So, race leader, whenever everything cycles out once more, will be the number 48 of Comrade, and that is quite a bit of a gap to Cam. Which, incredible pit stop by that team, and Cam 10 seconds slower on the stop. As Comrade in NASCAR 3 and 4. Exiting 4, coming around the front stretch, Comrade will retake the lead here at Daytona. And quite a bit of track left to the 31. Cam way back here. And I believe, yeah, so the rest of the DPIs just made their stops, and actually Chris making his first appearance in the pits in a while. So welcome back, Chris, to the pits. And well, he came in before anybody else, which makes me think that we should see maybe the 16, maybe the 9 come in. 16 a BQ. There he is, and the leader of this race currently, but still a long ways to go. But it seems like that number 16 really has quite a car. So I think that car is really strong, and he will have an amazing weekend here if he just keeps that pace up. Which, there's the 31 of Cam. He's going to get by him, and entire line of LMPs just behind. And well, they're going to catch, but the question is the 16 coming in this time by, or was that an early call by the 25? Is the 25 on a separate pit strategy from everyone else, or is he on the same? Well, I think the 25 came in a bit earlier in the race. And no, the 16 coming in as well right now. The 16's in. Will the 9 come in? No, he won't. The 9's going to stay out another lap. So the 9 Lizards will retake the lead. This could be the overcut. Connor quite a bit back from him. There's Connor. There's Chris. Chris in 18th. Tub 13th. Connor in 12th. And the Lizard. Now keep in mind, NASCAR and Camry, both those Mercedes still trying to kind of gain a bit of pace, but they are quite a bit back. So here's the GTD leader just now turning in to the Le Mans chicane, and here is Camry just going through the International Horseshoe. Now the 16 just now moving back out on the track. A minute 7.8. That was a slow stop. If this number 9 can get a fast stop, he could be back in that lead position once more. But he's not going in this time either. I think he's on the stretch strategy just like those Mercedes are. Try to stretch your fuel, save your tires, try to stretch it as long as possible. Which is a strategy that I've tried in many of my races, and it works fairly well. As now, these cars all getting ready to go ahead and make their way into the pits if you are a part of the GT3 car class. And if you're not a part of the GT3, I think you've already came in LMPs and DPIs and all that. And leader number 9. He has quite a bit of gap to Connor. He's in second right now. Which I believe both of those guys have stayed out onto the track. Now does the 9 come in this time? No, he does not. The 9 really wanting to stretch out his fuel, which is always something that's good, but at what point do you say I need to come in, and what point do you say I'm using too much fuel or I'm losing too much time? That's the question, because if I think everybody's going to be pitting for all these new fresh tires. And Connor trying to battle for the lead of this class. And actually, sorry, Connor not able to get it as he is back there. And we are looking at Lizard. So Connor, I believe, has pit. And number 9 has not. And 24 had a break there. I think to give room to the 9, but wasn't able to really, so. Lizard still out there. Then it's Nascar. And then it will be Camry. The next car that he has to battle would be BQ, which is I can't even find him. He's just exiting that second 180, and he's heading down the straight. You just heard him. And I don't know when this 9 is going to pit. I think he's definitely on the stretch strategy for sure. I think we've confirmed that by now. But it is just such a long-term strategy. It really is. And there goes the 9. He is in to the pits. Nine into the pits, so we're going to watch him. And we're going to watch the maps. See if he's going to be able to keep the lead whenever everything cycles through. Keep in mind the 16 is who he's battling. 16 in the middle of 2 and 3. Right. I mean, sorry, 1 and 2. Let's watch this. Here's BQ. As here we go. Here's BQ crossing the line in the 9. It worked. The overcut has worked. There is a big gap, and now Lizard, your race leader, whenever all the pit cycles do go through. Now, keep in mind, somebody that has not pitted yet would be the 79 of Nascar. And welcome to about 2 a.m. in race time. 1 hour until the sun comes up. In real time, 4 hours in game, but its time is on ×4. It'll only be 1 hour, our time. And because of that, I will be right back in maybe a minute or two. Not going to be that long of a break. And in the meanwhile, let's watch the GTD class leader, the number 79, NASCAR. And the commentator is back. NASCAR and Camry still stretching out the fuel now, as we are here at Daytona International Raceway. It's a little over an hour left. Sorry, a little under an hour left until the sun comes out. And man, what a race this has been. And honestly, I want to thank you all for, staying here with me and doing all of that in this race here at Daytona. And I know a few of you guys are doing something else while listening to this race, so I will try my best to commentate like it is a radio. But if you're also watching the video, I want to welcome you as well. As now we get closer and closer to the end of this race, and all I gotta say is what a race this has been. I also want to say once again thank you for joining here and being live with me, as of course we still have quite a bit to go, but it has been an incredible race and all of that. Sorry if the quality just got really bad. I had to download something. But NASCAR and Camry really stretching out the fuel here, as Camry just got lapped, and NASCAR, well, still leading the GTD car class. And actually, let's go on board the number 48 of Comrade once more as your race leader. Just getting around this track, really trying to fight for every little bit, every little second in today's race. And once again, Comrade coming around this time to start his 100th lap here at Daytona for the Daytona 6 Hours at Daytona International Speedway here, and it's been incredible. And the lights are on, and well, they're about to be off here pretty soon with the all of this ending here pretty soon, and the race will be over soon, and I'll go back to our normal lives and everything else like that. But for you guys that are playing any other game right now, like Odin doing leave Winston, yes. So that will be very, very interesting to see where everybody is while they listen to this stream, and other people just hanging out around here. I enjoy every single one of you guys being here, and I appreciate it. As there is a good 3 hours 19 left in this race, 19 minutes away from halfway there. An endurance race has lasted quite a long time, and now at number 97 is Pitt. Nascar has Pitt, and he has lost a few positions there, and now he will be getting lapped by the DPI. Battle for the GTD car class leader is not really that big right now, and fuel window for the DPIs will open up shortly. Now that's all of the DPI and everything really as Pit, which is very special that we have a little time that nobody else has to come in and all that. And if I sound a little bit under slept right now, I guess you could say. I had to get up really early, caught some fish, so I'm very tired. And I kind of want to go do other things right now, but I'm going to be here for the enjoyment of this. But should be pretty good here, and let's go ahead and let's ride on board a car that we haven't ridden on board in a long time. Let's do Chris, a season of battle with a 21 of Tub, and this is the battle for 15th. Tub and Chris fighting it out for it. It's Connor. Justin third. But it's all about consistency here. It's all about who can set good laps without making that many mistakes. Now, as we talk about consistency, let's take a look at one of the battles going on. Florida, Odin, and number 60. All in a good battle through here. The 60, they're going to have to make their way through lap traffic. In the 01 and the 02, I want to say, make contact, which is not the best for this, but definitely interesting, I'm going to say. But here we go, and we are just about ready to do anything. And now, keep in mind, we are doing this all for your entertainment for the iRacing Sim series. So it has been a long 3 hours, and that's gonna be a longer 3 hours, even more. And as we get closer to the end of this race, and now as we have information from the race directors that there's rain in the area, and this race will get delayed to a further time. So the rest of the 3 hours will continue either tomorrow or next weekend, as the rain will go ahead and stop this race. So Comrade led 104 laps of this race, and the ratings will stay the same. Everything will stay the same except for Sebring. That's when we will change them. So this race will get delayed for next, or maybe tomorrow even, because of rain. But in the meanwhile, this has been Colt. We will see you either tomorrow or whenever. And yeah, I want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you the next time that this track is dry. And we will continue the race in the morning of it, and it'll be 3 hours. Meanwhile, my name is Colt, and I will see you later.